Javor?
Javor zelený pod tím naším okněčkom sazený.
Hey, Javor, Javor,
I'd like to give
sing
you
it.
two a little
Hey,
memento
Javor,
of this.
Javor, Javor zelený,
pod naším okněčkom sazený. Hey, Javor, Javor, Javor zelený, pod naším okněčkom sazený. There.
Great.
Okay. In our main plaza here, originally there was a pretty flush design for our garden. It was all natural trees that including these two linden trees that were planted here in 1936 by Tiso in his visit here. So in a commemoration, we're going to ask you to plant a lipa here at the top of the hill. But anyway, in 1929, the Slovak garden was dedicated. During the Depression years, it was quite phenomenal. Only 10 years after the Czechoslovakia was formed, they completed the garden and dedicated it in 1932. In here, we're commemorating two people: Jan Kollár, who had the vision to say Slavs rise up from your slumber of oppression and face the future, and Furdek, who founded the Jednota, asking people to unite for God and nation. It was a hard time, but under the public work program initiated during the Depression, the stonework was completed, and the outline of the whole garden from above looks like that of a basilica to commemorate the coming of Cyril Methodius and bringing the Word of God and initiating our language, our sacred language and liturgy. So if you look at it, this whole garden was surrounded by buckthorn trees that would have went around in the shape of a basilica or a cathedral, in the shape of a cross. And in the original renditions of the garden, Stefan was pictured here to be connected by an avenue of trees from the road straight to the front here. But the garden was not near, the cultural gardens had not formed until later 1925. The Stefanik monument was already completed and donated to the city and placed at that prominent circle, only because Wade's Circle itself had the cultural gardens at the end where the Museum of Art is, had only been formed in 1916. So it's pretty close history. And so it's quite phenomenal that we became the fifth garden in the chain of gardens through the cultural gardens. The first gardens were the British Garden, the second the Hebrew Garden, and then we have the German gardens, the Italian Garden. Here at the Italian Garden they'll have live opera in 1 month and dedicating a new monument of Dante, maybe a 15-foot bronze statue. So we need to bring attention back to our garden. As a vice president of Sister City in 2002, I took on the project of starting to renovate the garden here. There was nothing on this hillside. A lot of the trees, shrubs that you see was raised by our efforts here to put in. These are the stonework here. Some of our own people had repaired the stone because it heaved up after years of neglect. And only recently our urn came back over here from being dumped in the river there. So our stonework here suffered in 2002 with this hillside here being devastated of trees in the front, the original trees. The forestry trucks came in and drove right up our steps and broke the stairway. And afterwards we had a fundraiser completing the planting of, now it would be 5 trees, lipas, on the hillside there. The first one is for the Slovak Institute, the next one the Ženska Jednota, the one to the right of that is the National Slovak Society, And right on the top up there by the road is the First Catholic Slovak Union. And today we would ask you to join us in a commemorative planting of a lipa right at the top here to unite our efforts for the future.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
This is really a nice place. This is really nice.
It's a natural amphitheater, and to the top there is the Russian garden.
Yeah.
Over there was a monument before. There was to be a bridge that would connect over the river here. And 10 years ago we had to stop the effort of the city to return this to nature, and they wanted to take 1/3 of the lower half of our garden to the creek below.
Yeah, yeah.
And so anyway, again, here's Kollár. And we have to restore the plaques because they were lost over time in history. And